Hi students, this is Dr. R. Balaji, Physics faculty. Here I would like to give a lecture on magnetic materials. In this video I explain about hysteresis curve based on domain theory and the difference between the soft and hard magnetic materials. Now, this is the hysteresis curve. We know ferromagnetic material is subjected to external magnetic field. The magnetic moment is increases by two ways. One is movement of domain walls and other one is rotation of domain walls. This movement of domain walls which is exist when the applied field is small, and rotation of domain walls which is exist at a strong magnetic field. So when small external field is applied, when a small external field is applied, for example, when we draw a graph, this is H and I stands for intensity of magnetization. Now we are applying the small magnetic field. When small external field is applied, the domain walls is displaced slightly. This gives rise to small magnetization. This gives rise to small magnetization. So here, when small magnetic field is applied, the domain wall is displaced slightly. This gives rise to small magnetization. Suppose the applied field is removed, the domain returns to its original state and is known as reversible domain. This is exists only in low magnetic field, and it is in our diagram it is represented as OA. In OA region, by applying a small magnetic field, the domain walls are slightly displaced, and whenever the applied field is removed, it regains its original state. This is called reversible domain, which is occurs at low magnetic field. When the magnetic field is increased, say in the region A to B, suppose the magnetic field is increased, large number of domains contribute to magnetization. Large number of domains contribute to magnetization, and magnetization increases rapidly by increasing of the magnetic field. Here there is no reversible domain. Here there is no reversible domain because the domain walls move a larger distance. The domain walls moves a larger distance. This process is indicated as AB in our figure. These domains, in this region, the domains are called irreversible domains. So here, by removing of the magnetic field which are not attains its original state due to the displacement of the domain wall is large. When the field is further increases, then the domain starts to rotate along the field direction. So here the applied field is increases, then the displacement of the walls is not comes under field. The rotation of the domains along the field direction starts, and in this process the anisotropic energy is stored along the applied field direction, and in our diagram which is shown in the range of B and C. So in between B and C, due to the rotation of domains, the anisotropic energy which is stored in the system. At point C, in our figure at point C, all domains are rotate along the applied field direction. So the intensity of the magnetization is maximum. At that point, the intensity of the magnetization is maximum. Now the increasing magnetic field intensity or try to decrease step by step, then it does not follow the path CO. Now the curve it follows some other path OD. The curve it is follows some other path OD. When you are observing the point D, at the point D, the electric field, the magnetic field intensity value is equal to 0, but it have some intensity of magnetization. So even the magnetic field is removed, the material have some intensity of magnetization. This is called spontaneous magnetization. And here this magnetism is called residual magnetism. The magnetic field which is remains in the material, even the magnetic field is removed. This is called residual magnetism. And in our diagram, OD is called retentivity. OD is called retentivity. So at point D, the material having magnetization, even the external field is removed. This is called residual magnetization or retentivity. Actually, after the removal of external field, external field, the specimen which is try to come to its original state by the movement of the block walls. So at point D, when you are remove the magnetic field, which is that material which is try to come to its original state by the movement of block walls, but this movement is stopped due to the presence of impurities and lattice imperfections in the material. Therefore, to remove that residual magnetism in the material, we require a large amount of reverse magnetic field. So here, when the magnetic field is decreases on negative side at a point E, it have some negative magnetic field, but here the residual magnetism is completely removed by applying of a particular force is called coercive force, and in this diagram OC is called coercivity. Further increasing of the negative field, this curve which is follow some other path, EF or something, and here the intensity of magnetization is more, and this is the symmetrical to the point C, and further increasing of magnetic field intensity, it is the follows this path, and this entire loop is called hysteresis loop. The area of the hysteresis loop indicates the loss of hysteresis. It indicates how much energy required to convert that material into magnetic material. Suppose the area of this hysteresis curve is large, it means by supplying of much more energy, the material is converted into magnetic material. Suppose this area is small, by supplying of small amount of energy, it can easily convert it into magnetic material. That is the importance of this hysteresis curve. Okay. Now, what is the difference between what is soft magnetic material and what is hard magnetic material, and what are the differences between this soft and hard magnetic materials? Soft magnetic materials, the materials which can easily magnetized and demagnetized, are called soft magnetic materials. Hard magnetic materials, the materials which are very difficult to magnetize and demagnetize, are called hard magnetic materials. Now here I mentioned some differences between the soft magnetic materials and hard magnetic materials. So in soft magnetic materials, they can easily magnetized and demagnetized. In a hard magnetic materials, they cannot be easily magnetized or demagnetized. And movement of domain walls is easy, and hence even for small applied field, large magnetization occurs in soft magnetic materials. The movement of domain walls is not easy. So by applying of large magnetic field, the material is magnetized. When you observe the hysteresis curve, here this curve is very steep, and in case of hard magnetic materials, the curve is very broad. The loop area is less, and hence hysteresis loss is minimum in soft magnetic materials. The loop area is large, and hence hysteresis loss is maximum in hard magnetic materials. The susceptibility and permeability are high in soft magnetic materials. The susceptibility and permeability are low in hard magnetic materials. The retentivity, so this is called retentivity. This is called coercivity. The retentivity and coercivity are small in soft magnetic materials. The retentivity and coercivity are large in hard magnetic materials. They have low eddy current loss. Here they have high eddy current loss. These materials are free from irregularities like strain or impurities. These materials have large number of impurities and lattice defects. It is used to, soft magnetic materials are used to make the temporary magnets, and hard magnetic materials are used to make permanent magnets. Iron, silicon, ferrites. These are the examples of soft magnetic materials. Carbon steel, tungsten steel, chromium steel. So these are the examples of hard magnetic materials. This is very important compared to study of the soft and hard magnetic materials. Thank you.